Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Physics, where we actually learn physics. So in this lecture we are going to solve this problem, a very simple problem as you can see on the screen. In this problem we are going to find out the dimensional formula for four physical quantities. One of them is the charge, then we are going to find out for the potential V, and then we are going to find out for the capacitance and then the resistance. Okay, so let's go one by one. First of all, we will start with the charge. Okay, so let's write down here the electric charge Q. Okay, now first of all, as we all know, to find out the dimensional formulas, we must know formulas or the equations associated with this particular quantity, right? For example, if you are solving for charge, you must know any formula that is associated with charge. If you are solving for resistance, then you must know the formula associated with resistance, and so on. Okay, then the second thing is you have to represent that quantity in terms of the base quantities. There are actually 7 base quantities which are defined in the SI unit system. Okay, so over here also we will use the same approach. Okay, first of all we will write down the formula, then we will represent everything in terms of the base quantities, and then we will get to our answer that we need. Okay, so what is the formula, the most basic formula associated with charge? So as you know, the most basic formula is the formula for current, that is I. Okay, current is equal to the amount of charge flowing per unit time. That's it. Now from this formula I can write Q is equal to I into T, isn't it? I is the electric current, whereas T is the time. Now if you know the SI quantities, you will find out that I and T both are the base quantities, isn't it? Both are what? The base quantities which are defined in SI unit system. So our work has been simplified now here. Okay, there are only two quantities and both of them are base quantities, so everything has been solved here. So the dimensional formula for Q is equal to the dimensional formula for I into the dimensional formula for time. Now the dimensional formula for I will be written as I1. That means electric current has a dimension 1 in current. Simply, it's a base quantity. Then this is time. Okay, so T1, isn't it? And that's it. Okay, that's it. So our formula will be simply Q is equal to I1 T1. That's it. This is going to be the dimensional formula for electric charge. Now you can see there is no mass, length, nothing involved here, because these terms don't arise here, because current is itself a base quantity, time is itself a base quantity. We don't need to again represent current in terms of the base quantities because it is already the base quantity, isn't it? Now I hope this is clear. Now let's move to the next one, that is the potential, or simply the electric potential. Okay, here it is. Now the formula associated with electric potential is this one. It is the work done per unit charge. This is the simplest formula associated with the work, with the potential. Okay, that means the dimensional formula for V will be equal to dimensions for work divided by the dimensions for charge, the electric charge. Okay, dimensions for electric charge. Now we have just found out the dimensions for charge. Okay, we know that the dimensional formula for charge is nothing but I1 and T1, right? Charge has dimensions, one in time, one in current. Okay, now what about the work? We have to find out the dimensional formula for work, then only we can get our answer. So as we all know, work is equal to force into displacement, right? Work is equal to force into displacement. Using this formula, we can actually find out the dimensions of work, right? First of all, we will represent work in terms of base quantities. So for that, we have to represent force first of all in terms of the base quantities, because force over here is a derived quantity. Displacement is again related to length, so it is a base quantity, no problem. So what is force? Force is mass into acceleration into x as it is. Now mass is a base quantity, but acceleration is not a base quantity. It is given as rate of change of velocity. That means change in velocity divided by the time required for the change. Okay, dv is the small change in velocity divided by the small time required dt into x as it is. Again, velocity is not the base quantity. Okay, velocity is what? Nothing but the displacement upon time required, isn't it? So what we can do is we can put it here. So it is m d by dt as it is. Now velocity is, as I have written here, dx by dt, okay, into x. See, you must know all these things. Okay, you must know all these things, then only you can actually find out the dimensional formulas for various quantities. Without the knowledge of all these formulas, you cannot find out the dimensional formulas for different quantities. Okay, somehow by hook or crook you have to know these things. Okay, now let's put all these things, let's solve everything. W is going to be equal to mass into, if you look at this, this is going to become double differentiation, d2x upon dt squared into x as it is. Okay, this is a double differentiation. This you will learn in the coming chapters. Okay, as you learn in 11th and 12th, okay, you will understand what is double differentiation. Okay, now you can see here we have represented W, the work, in terms of base quantities. Mass is a base quantity, as we all know. X is a base quantity. This x is also a base quantity. Both are nothing but length, and this is time, isn't it? So in this way, everything is in terms of base quantity. So therefore we can write here the dimensions of W are nothing but the dimensions of M. What is the dimension of M? Nothing but M1. Then here you can see X. So dimension of length is L1. Again we have one more X, so it is L1 again. Okay, divide by, you can see there is T squared, so it is going to be T squared, isn't it? Okay, now if we arrange this equation properly, it will be M1 L2 T minus 2, because it is in the denominator. So when it comes to the numerator, it will be T raised to minus 2. Now we have got all the dimensional formulas that we require for our problem, right? We can now put all these things in our main equation that you can see here. This is the potential, capital V is equal to W upon Q. Now we have just got all the values that we need, right? So let's put all these things over here. So V is equal to, as I said, W upon Q, isn't it? Okay, in terms of the dimensions. Now what is the dimension of W? Nothing but M1 L2 T minus 2 divided by Q, right? What are the dimensions of Q? Nothing but I1 T1, is it? Let's arrange everything properly and let's see what we get. So V is equal to M1 as it is, it does not cancel. L2 as it is, does not cancel. Then you can see this T raised to minus 2 and this T1 becomes minus 1. and this I becomes minus 1 here, right? Okay, now let's just solve this. So V is going to be equal to M1 L2 T minus 3 and I minus 1. That's it. That is the formula. That is the dimensional formula for the electric potential capital V. Okay, and in this way we have got our answer, isn't it? Now let's go to the next one. Let's see what is the next quantity. So the next quantity over here is capacitance. Okay, so as we know, first of all we must know the formula. So first of all, let's write down the formula. So capacitance is equal to charge per unit voltage, right? Charge divided by voltage. So now it has become simple for us, isn't it? So dimensions of capacitance will be equal to dimensions of charge divided by dimensions of V, isn't it? Now in our previous two examples above, we have just found out the dimensions of Q and V, right? Dimensions of Q are nothing but I1 and T1, isn't it? And we have just found out the dimensions of V over here. As you can see, here it is M1 L2, right? I can write here M1 L2 T minus 3 I minus 1, isn't it? Okay, now let's move on. Now let's see what are the things that may cancel up. First of all, let's take everything to the numerator. Okay, so the equation will become I1 as it is, T1 as it is. Let's take M1 to the numerator, it will be minus 1, L minus 2, T, it is minus 3, it will become plus 3, I minus 1 will become plus 1, right? Now let's arrange everything, let's solve for everything, let's see what cancels up. So C is equal to, first of all we will write M minus 1, then L minus 2, and we will write time. Now you can see here is one term associated with time, then there is T3 here, so total will be T4, is it? Then what remains is the current. You can see there are two terms, one is here and here, I1, it will be I2, okay? And finally we have got our answer for the capacitance, isn't it? So we can say capacitance has dimensions minus 1 in mass, minus 2 in length, 4 in time, and 2 in current. Okay, so in this way we have got our answer. Now let's move to the next one. The next one, as we can see, is the resistance. Again we will write down the formula first. So over here we are going to use our favorite law, that is the Ohm's law. Okay, simple, the most simplest, most basic law that we have been using since many years. V is equal to IR. Okay, now from this we can write R is equal to V upon I, isn't it? And from this I can say dimensions of R is nothing but dimensions of V divided by dimensions of I, isn't it? Okay, now we have just found out the dimensions of V. Here it is. As you know, it is what? M1 L2 T minus 3 I minus 1, right? Let's write down here. So it is M1 L2 T minus 3 I minus 1. Okay, and here is current. Current is already a base quantity, so we can directly write I1. Okay, now if we take this I to the numerator, it will become what? Nothing but I minus 1, right? So we can cancel this from the denominator, and finally what we will have is the dimensional formula for R will be equal to M1 L2 T minus 3 and I minus 2. That's it. This is the dimensional formula for resistance, that is R. We can read this as resistance has dimensions 1 in mass, 2 in length, minus 3 in time, and minus 2 in current. That's it. That is our answer. Okay, so I hope this is clear, and in this way you can see that we have solved for all the physical quantities given in the problem. So I hope this is clear. Okay, if you have still any doubts, you can ask me in the comment section. I will definitely answer as soon as possible. Okay, so I think it's the time to stop. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in our next video. Till then, bye bye, see you, have a good day.